Jacob York is a music industry veteran. He's worked with the likes of Lil Kim and Lil C's, Bad Boy, Biggie Smalls. A lot of the early stuff that was going on with Bad Boy, he was involved in management-wise.
So I remember like a few years ago they had they leaked, I guess, some tracks that he did. Like he was rapping Lil Kim's verses.
Mm-hmm.
Like how much of that was he just writing all the stuff and handing out to everybody?
No, not at all. Actually, like when it came to her, she had a problem with, like when you look at Kim, right? Like Kim had a problem with delivery at times. Like she would put too many words in certain things. Mm-hmm. So what he would do is he would take the lyrics and re-rap them for her. And be like, no, this is how you put this. That's like I would say. He'd be like, no, C's. Like, C's, he wrote stuff for. I wouldn't lie to you about that, right? Well, Kim, like, when it comes to Players Anthem, Get Money, stuff like that, she wrote all that stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of times she would have to be mad. You know what I'm saying? She was mad because I remember her, like, being real mad and flipping, like, on him sometimes and writing. But he would just redo it. Like, he would be like, no, not a lot of stuff. Like Queen Bee. Mm-hmm. She was rapping that, but she was kind of not doing it right. And he would go, nah, let me show you how to do it. And he'll re-rap it for her. You know what I'm saying?
Pare down the verses a little bit and make them
because cleaner. She was a female too. Right. So, you gotta understand, people take like the Nicki Minaj's and all that for granted now. Right. Back then, it wasn't that easy, right? Females were coming from wearing bubble goose and sweatpants and looking very masculine. And she was like one of the few first female, overtly female rapper. And so for him, he used to be like, you got to understand, you got a huge responsibility on your hand coming on, because she was very like, and he was like, no, you got a big responsibility on your hand. You taking hip hop on a female level and putting it on your back, so you cannot mess up. So he would be really on her back. He used to be hard on her. Also, he was just hard because he loved hip hop so much that he used to be like, no, y'all can't fuck up hip hop.
Right.
That's how he used to talk. Right. And so for her, a lot of people may see those things, and I'd be like, y'all have no clue with that. That would be like, here's how you rap this verse, Kim. Study it, come back and rap it. Mm-hmm. You understand it? So it was stuff like that. That's what he would do. So with Lil Kim, she didn't really have a separate manager. Like, it was like we were the label, and we were the publishing company, and we were the managers.
It's everything right here.
We were right. Everything was built in. So even if she had a rep like Shaka Don or somebody who was like her road manager, we booked the events and put everything together like what we did. That's how we did it back in the 90s.
Right.
It wasn't until later on that people started to get this separation. I think that's when the major labels and the production companies became huger, that I think managers, became part of the equation. Before that, we were the ones doing it all. Like with Kim, like she didn't have a separate manager until way into her success.
So you all are on the road with her every day.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you how crazy it was. We ain't had a budget. We did this in a 1-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn. You understand? That's where the company started, right? And I used to be on the road with her. I was her road manager. I was in the studio mixing the records with her. I was a hype man for a few times when we could. We didn't have the budget.
Did you sleep?
No.
What was your hype man name?
I'm not saying.
Don't ask me that.
Don't ask me that one. That was
that's one of the things that goes to the grave.
No. But it's kind of because I don't look like it anymore. So it doesn't right. But at one point I was his size. So they used to nickname me Slim Papa. That was a joke.
Right.
Yeah. And so I would be on stage and I would do the hype, whatever we had to do, because back then we didn't have what they have now, where it was like all this. There was like, listen, we got $10,000 for a promo tour,
right?
And you had to do it,
right?
And we did what we had to do, and then obviously it got to a point where they started giving us millions of dollars, and then that went back to what they have today,
right?
No budgets, no nothing again. So for about a good 7 to 8 years, we had a shitload of money to spend, but before that we had nothing, But Kim sold millions of records off of like very little, very little.
I'm sure some record labels would love to have that kind of concept back.
Oh, yeah.
A cheap album that goes and sells 2, 3, 4 million records or whatever.
It was a very cheap album. If you look at by the standards of the day, these guys are getting paid $100,000, $150,000 for a beat. Right? $250,000 was Junior Mafia. $250,000 was Junior Mafia's entire recording budget. Do you understand what I'm saying? We shot Players Anthem with $55,000, right? And we had Learjets and helicopters and all this stuff.
How do you pull that off for $55,000?
Because back then, the standards for everything was lower, right? So you had $55,000 was a huge budget.
Right.
And that's because we had took the single to #1. And so Atlantic was like, okay, well, I'll give y'all $55,000. And we thought, we're going to get Lear jets and helicopters and all this stuff and girls. We got mansions. We're like, we winning for 55,000? Oh, we winning.
Yeah.
You understand that? And that album went to sell 1 million copies, and the singles that we put out and everything, that was like a $50 million return to them. And then they turned back around and said, oh, well, we'll just give you $500,000 for Lil Kim's album. And we turned around and made them a lot more money than that. And then after that, I made them pay.
Yeah. Now you have
a lot.
Now you got to back the truck up.
Oh no, they back the brinks up.
yeah.
Just let it just keep flowing until
until we say stop.
Until we say stop.
Right.
I'm just gonna tell you stop in about 3 weeks, but just let it flow. Shout out to Craig Kalman. I made you a chairman. I'm sorry, he was a DJ and an A&R guy.
It happens like that. Now you talked about Big being real hard on Kim and on all the artists, but specifically just talking about Kim. What was it about Kim? Because this is the thing I always wonder. As obviously as she got into, she put out several albums and then she went through her, plastic surgery and things of that nature. Did you see anything in her early on that suggested that maybe her self-esteem wasn't high, or that she felt a certain way about herself? Because a lot of people wonder about that. Why do it when you're a beautiful woman?
I think it delivered. I think it came. I don't think that people can't get that social media didn't exist.
Right.
We barely had email. There was no email. We were faxing people stuff. So imagery was not as rampant, right?
Right. There was no comment section to read.
There was no exactly. There wasn't the gossips of the world that gave you the alternatives. There wasn't. If you got Ebony and Jet, you got Ebony and Jet, right? Everything else was what the world portrayed as beautiful back then, right? So a model would be beautiful if she was lighter, if she had blue eyes, if she had blonde hair. So I've heard her say to me before in the past that, that's the image that she grew up perceiving as beautiful.
Right.
And so that's what she always achieved. But around me, I never heard it, aside from, hey, I want a boob job because my titties look small, I've never heard her say, I want to do plastic surgery. Never once. She's never said that. I never saw her wanting to do plastic surgery. Like, I remember her saying she didn't like the fact that her boobs were small and she wanted to get boob jobs, and I thought that was normal. But everything else, I didn't even see it coming. Like, I didn't see her saying, okay, well, I'm going to go get all this plastic surgery. I didn't see it coming. And to me, as someone who's still friends with her, I don't see why.
Right.
Because she was such a big deal. Yeah, she was a beautiful woman. It wasn't like, we can be hard on women in general, especially women who are in the spotlight or whatever the case is. And it wasn't like she was received any backlash. I was in high school when hardcore came out. And all the brothers I knew that had that poster wanted Kim. Like, it wasn't about anybody else. It was just Kim.
She strut confidently and
held it down and was like she wasn't the darkest woman, but she wasn't high yellow, light skin. Like, she was a brown skinned woman, clearly a black woman.
She had the men that she wanted, from my knowledge. I mean, maybe not big, you know what I'm saying? But like a lot of the other men that she wanted, I'm sure, men were driving crazy for. So I don't know where, maybe she just felt that that's what she wanted to do. Like, I don't know if it comes from self-esteem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I just know that that was a choice, I think. Because, when a lot of people look at Michael Jackson, they look at that as a self-esteem thing. And that wasn't a self-esteem thing.
Right.
Because I found out why he had the tape on his fingers.
It was the vitiligo, right?
Yeah. I asked, like, what's up with that?
Straight over, like, hey, Mike,
hey, bro, like, what's going on over
Oh, no,
here?
I was a groupie. But I still was like, so what's up with that?
Like, I didn't need an explanation, Mike.
I said, I get it.
Right.
Wow.
So you never know what it is that could have,
produced that.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it's self-esteem or not. Like, I don't know what it's coming from. I never had her think like, Kim always thought very highly of herself. So I don't know anything about what could have transpired. Because at the days that she began to go through the surgeries, like that was the end of my, my reign with her.
Right.
So, I mean, we stayed friends throughout it all, but I can't tell you. That one I can't touch, and I'm not lying.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. I just always wondered about that because it seemed like she just had, like you said, everything that she could want as far as success and adoration and, people
You
looking at her.
can't tell what's in the back of somebody's head. All you can tell is what they project to you.
Right.
Right? And what I'm saying to you is I can't read the back of her head. I don't know what the motivation for it for. Maybe she just said, hey, I like this. I want to have bigger titties.
Right.
I want bigger titties. I want smaller nose. I want small, I don't know.
I mean, I know she always rapped about high end fashion and things like that, but it seemed like at around the time of the surgeries and things like that, she was, on the cover of these magazines, and she was seen.
Maybe that's
with,
what it was. Maybe she thought it was necessary.
Versace's and these other people who were in the fashion. I just always wondered if that had any effect on her or what she was.
No, because when but she had the boob job, and when I signed over to Wilhelmina, she was the same. You know what I mean?
Right.
She wore the wigs and the hair because that was just part of this costume, right? I mean, Kim always knew how to separate the business from herself, right? So maybe as time went by, she felt like that was where she wanted to take it. You know, from my knowledge of it, like, I heard that, I've heard her say like that's the image that I always perceived as being pretty.
Right.
But I don't know if that reflects insecurity or just this is what I want to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe she was just that avid talent that's just said, okay, I want to look this way for the talent. Like, I don't know. The point is, I don't know if she has vitiligo because I've never seen that on her. All I know is that's what she chose to do. That's what she chose to do. I know people that cut their nose and because they think a bigger nose, a smaller nose is better. Right. I don't know if she wanted to look white. I can't say that.
Right.
You know?